Good morning. 20 years ago, John Candela was 42 years old. He was a man with a full heart of love and for family and friends. He was the kind of person that if there was a heavy snowstorm, he would have his snowblower out clearing his driveway and sidewalk, but also clearing the sidewalks and the driveways of the people around him, just because he cared. He had a great love for his two children. They were 6 and 4. He loved playing cards with them, loved playing Barbie dolls, loved riding bikes. He was just a man whose heart was so very full of love. He worked for Canton Fitzgerald. They were on the 100th and to 101st to 105th floors in the World Trade Center, the North Tower. He worked on the 104th floor. He was there on that morning of 9/11. The plane crashed into the 93rd through the 99th floor, and in the end, no one who worked above that zone would survive. Juliet, his daughter, was 6 years old and in the first grade. She remembers very well that morning. She was at school. She was in the gym playing with a parachute with other friends when a teacher came and grabbed her by the wrist and said, "You have to come to the principal's office now." She didn't want to. She wanted to keep playing. But when she got to the principal's office, there was her mother. And her mother was very steady, and she put her hands on her shoulder and said, "There has been an accident, and Daddy isn't coming home." And Juliet says that moment is frozen in time, forever. She remembers it so clearly, hearing those words, trying to process them, and how they walked out of the school and got in the car to go home. She's now 26 years old. Sunday, I thought that the NFL did a really wonderful thing. Before the kickoff of the very first games for this season, they had a video that talked about what happened on 9/12. The day after the horrible attacks from the terrorists. How on 9/12 we were working very hard to come together and try to figure out what happened, to try to figure out how do we pick ourselves up and what do we need to do. It was a time of great fear and anxiousness, and they wanted us to go back and remember how we pulled together in a spirit of unity. At the end of the video, though they zoomed in to the World Trade Center Memorial, and there was Juliet, and she was singing the national anthem, standing beside a flag and the name of her father. She had such an incredible voice. She was so strong, and she sang in such a beautiful way, and that was the singing of the national anthem to all the football stadiums, playing at the same time up on the screen as we all remembered. Not only 9/11, but 9/12. And what were we called to do that day? She sang that day because she wanted her father to be proud, to honor him. She had loved him so much. And when I asked what were the things that she has learned, she said, "I've learned you can't give in to fear. If you give in to fear, well, then the terrorists win. Because that's all that their power comes from, is fear." No, she said, you can't give in to fear and you can't give in to hate. And she's made the decision that that's how she would live her life. Well, today is 9/13. And on 9/13, we were still in shock. No planes were still flying across the United States. It was so eerie. If you've seen the musical, all about what happened in Gander, Newfoundland. It's the musical Come From Away. You know that during this time on 9/13, they were still serving thousands of people and putting them up in their homes and doing everything they could to be helpful to them, showing this incredible compassion and coming together to bless life. Maybe today on 9/13, what we need to do to honor those victims from 20 years ago is remember that we are called to live in unity with a spirit of compassion and kindness, not to live in fear, but to make sure that we are going to go out and share God's love and bring hope in this world. There's nothing better you can do to honor the victims of 9/11 and to answer that call of Christ than to go out and live and do something special for somebody today. Have a blessed and a meaningful day.